Hello. All right, so hopefully you would have seen the last video that I uploaded, which was day 1 and 2 and a little bit before those days as well of my New Zealand trip. I'm now going to talk about day 3 and day 4, so let's get into it. So day 3 was basically just exploring again, just having a look at my surroundings, what's out there and stuff. So yeah, nothing too exciting. It was just, yeah, having a look around and seeing what's out there. Then that night I went to Battle Zone, New Zealand, which was the hip hop showcase, I guess. Some would say it's a competition, but it's not really a competition. Like, they are competitive, but it's not really a competition. Yeah, anyways, I went and watched that, and oh my gosh, it was like 3 or 4 hours long. It was very long, but it was so good to watch. And yeah, I came back with many ideas from that, so that was good, especially because hip-hop's not really my biggest strength. As you know, I'm a ballerina, so I can teach hip-hop and I can do hip-hop. It's just not, yeah, my biggest talent. Day 4, we headed off to Waiheke Island, which was really pretty. I did not get any sleep because day 3 after Battle Zone, there was an after party, so I headed off to that and got home at like silly o'clock, and then by the time I was back I was like, well, there's no point me sleeping now because I've got to walk to the ferry port, so yeah, yay. So yeah, I did that, hopped on the 6 AM ferry to Waiheke Island, and I managed to catch the sunrise once I was at the island, which was so good. I hiked up a nice little trail, which goes around like a quarter of the island. So I was very tired and kind of dying hiking, but that's okay. I enjoyed it and it was worth it. So yeah, I just walked around for a bit, checking out all the spots there, and then I headed off to the zipline tour, is what I'm trying to say. So the zipline tour, you got on a coach and they drove you up to where the eco line is, and you get yourself sorted and chuck on some harnesses, and you basically go on 3 different zip line over the top of Waiheke Island, and you get to see some pretty cool views, so that was really nice to experience. So yeah, and then you walk through a forest and they tell you a bit about the forest, the forest was beautiful, like it was stunning, it was so nice. So yeah, and then I headed back and that was my day 4. So yeah, cool. So I'll insert some footage from that now and I'll see you in a bit. Beautiful. Since that one was kind of short, I will continue on with day 5, I believe. So day 5 was, let me just check that's right. I might be lying to you. Yes. No. Yes, it was. Cool. All right. So then day 5 was my favorite part of my trip so far. It was the penguin encounter, which almost didn't happen. I was meant to do the penguin encounter on day 4. Yeah. But they emailed me and they were like, we're so sorry, but one of the penguins are really sick, so we've had to get a vet in to check everything's okay, so we've had to cancel your encounter. And I was like, oh my god, that is like the main reason I came to New Zealand. I will cry if I don't get to do it, but it's okay. They had one spot left on the Sunday session, so they got me in. And yeah, oh my gosh, they were so cute. I just love penguins so much. They're the best animal ever. So yeah. So for that encounter, we walked around the front, so like the outside where everyone else gets to see the penguins. And she just told us some facts about the penguins, which I've written all down. The Gentoo male penguins were so cute. They would go and they would search for a perfect piece of ice, and they would bring the ice to the females that are resting on their eggs, and it's just so cute. They like bring it over to their nest and they drop it on the pebbles, and then the female will look at it and she'll then move it closer to her. It's just so cute. It's their like little love language. So yeah. So then after that we went back into where they like store all their food and everything. So we went back in there, popped on some warm clothes because it was freezing, as you can imagine. So yeah, we got dressed, and then we headed on into their little space. And before we even opened the door, little Cody, who stole my heart, he was the cutest penguin, was awaiting for us at the door. And then as we opened the door, he like headed and we followed him. He was basically just giving us the tour, honestly. So yeah, and he came over and he would like rub his head up against your leg, and yeah, he was so cute. Yeah, they were just adorable. So I got a couple of photos from that one, which I will pop in a moment. And yeah, we just stayed in there for like 45 minutes, and then as we were going out, the king penguins decided to follow us out, which was really funny because they just stayed in that one spot for like hours, and then all of a sudden they were like, okay, we're gonna follow you now. So yeah, that is day 5. So I'll pop some photos and videos now so that you can see my little sea life trip. Bit of a roll. We're getting through this quite quickly, so I'm gonna also talk about day 6. Let me check that's right. Yes, day 6. So day 6 was my Hobbiton tour. So I got up at about 5 a.m. They picked me up from the front of my hotel at 6:30 and we headed off on a 3-hour, no, it would have been 2 hours, 2-hour trip up to Hobbiton, which I fell asleep for 10 minutes and then woke up because the roads are really rough and I was being thrown around on the bus. But anyways, so yeah, we got to the Shire Rest is what they call it, I think, which is basically just a cafe and a gift shop, which I got some pretty cute souvenirs from there, but most of it's really expensive and it's stuff that I wouldn't buy anyway, so yeah, I only got a couple of little bits and pieces. Yeah, and then we headed off to the actual movie set, which I have not seen the movies. I remember watching half of the first movie of The Lord of the Rings, I should say, and maybe a little bit of The Hobbit, but I've never actually watched the full thing because it's very long and I don't do well with movies, so I get really restless and yeah, I just can't concentrate. So yeah, but like for someone who hasn't watched the movies, it was still really good to experience and the Hobbit houses were cute, so yeah. So yeah, it was a big tour and the tour guide had a very interesting accent. He actually sounded like an elf, not gonna lie. It was hard to understand him sometimes because yeah, he said he was from Germany, but it was a very specific accent. Like I've heard German accents before and his was just like another level. But anyways, not judging at all, I'm just saying that he sounded like an elf, so it was very fitting that he was the tour guide. He got very into character. So yeah, we got to go into one of the houses towards the end of the tour, which was quite cool, and they were actually quite big considering they're supposed to be Hobbit houses and they're built into a hill. But yeah, it was good. And then at the end of the tour we got to go to a nice little cafe called the Green Dragon, I believe it was called, and you get a complimentary drink, which I got ginger beer, and it was the best ginger beer I have ever tasted in my whole life, so yeah, I was impressed. So yeah, and then after that we got back into the tour bus and headed off to the now I've got to try and remember what it's called and whether I would like to attempt to say it. I'm not going to attempt to say it, but I'll pop it up there. But the caves, the glowworm caves, and yeah, that was an experience. Sadly, we didn't get to experience the full thing because the tides were so high and it was very dangerous. So yeah, I was a bit disappointed, but it is what it is. We got in there and we walked into the caves, and one of the cave areas is like a cathedral, so it like absorbs all of the noise basically. So the tour guide was like, does anyone want to sing? And I was like, absolutely not, because you were in like a group of like 50 people and I was like, I am not singing in front of these people. Not that I would consider it anyways, but I was just like, no one is going to offer, that is so awkward. But fun fact, Katy Perry, I think they said, and a couple of other celebrities have actually sang in there and have done concerts in there, so I thought that was pretty cool. So yeah, and then we hopped in some boats and we went sailing around underneath all of the cave areas where the glowworms were, which I wasn't allowed to take any photos, and that's because glowworms are used to silent environments and obviously pitch black environments. So if you've got any kind of glow from your phone devices or whatever, yeah, it can set them off and they won't glow again for 30 minutes, so you'll ruin it for everyone else. So yeah, couldn't take any photos unfortunately, but it was amazing, and I just wish that the high tides weren't when I went, because yeah, we only got to do half the tour, because usually you'd like sail around all the way through and then down into the river, but we literally went in and then straight back out the way we came, so it was kind of disappointing, but yeah, as I said, it is what it is. It was still nice and it was beautiful, and I would definitely do it again. So yeah, that was that day, and we headed off back. Then it was a 3-hour trip back, because obviously the caves were further away than Hobbiton. And again, I was gonna fall asleep, but the roads were just like crazy rough. So yeah, I ended up falling asleep when I got back to the hotel and sleeping for, I think, 12 hours. I was pretty tired, so yeah. I will pop some photos and stuff from Hobbiton. Alright, fabulous. Well, that is basically everything. I leave on Friday, which is in 2 days' time. But I don't really have anything else from any of the other days after Hobbiton. That was my last little adventure. And the last couple of days I've just been chilling, resting, because I don't get very much time off. So I do as much as I'm trying to take it all in and, you know, make the most of it is what I mean. I am trying to rest as well, because I have a big term ahead with all the dancing, end of year concerts and everything else that's happening this term. So yeah, the last couple of days and the next couple of days I'm not really doing anything, so I won't put that in any video, because yeah, I'm just basically spending time in my hotel and walking around, hiking. So yeah, it's not that exciting, just trying to rest. So yeah, but thank you for tuning in. We'll see if I can keep my promise and film more often, but no promises, because knowing me, I will get busy and forget. But yeah, I do enjoy it. It's not that I don't, it's just I'm busy. So yeah. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. I will see you guys in the next video, whenever that is. Alright, peace out.